John, good part of the day. If you're in Kiev, then this is a good morning.
Good morning, Roman. How are you?
Can you hear us?
I can hear you perfectly, thank you.
Oh, very good. Can we hear you? It's a smile, so I hope this is a yes. John, well, thank you very much for joining us. We're here on a panel with representatives of NBU, DGF, Prozoro, and we have a representative of Alvarez and Marcel who have seen it and other jurisdictions and would be sharing experience with us. John, we have heard today have seen a formal statement and have heard it today from Svetlana Rekruth from DGF that the first two auctions that took place, the big auctions that took place within the DGF, did not happen. Can you maybe tell us a little bit of what has happened, how you see that? Is it a big deal problem? Is it just a first trial and error kind of approach? Tell us a little bit your view. What has been happening?
Happy to, thank you, and thank you for accommodating my schedule. I'm at the DGF right now, and we did just conduct two rounds on their behalf for portfolio that and so we regard this pilot sale as actually a success. Although we're not awarding the assets today, nonetheless we received a tremendous amount of interest. We had participation in this transaction and Ukrainian investment groups, and we're very pleased that that participation has taken place. So it's a market-making sale. It's a test that we believe it was successful in terms of that test. And we look forward to additional opportunities for the DGF and India.
Okay, so if we get it right, just to make sure this is, because I don't think the line is very much perfect. We heard some of it. So this is a test. This is a test, and this is the test from which we all have to learn. You have seen some interest from the investors, maybe, and given that the auction didn't happen, do we have a consolidated feedback from the investor base? How did they look at the portfolio? Why didn't they bid? Or what didn't they like? What would they want to see?
At First Financial received several qualified bids. In the process of a registered bidder, you had to submit a fee to us. It was a requirement of the DGF in order to get into our VDR, to our data room, and have access to the sales site. So we had 12 different groups that did that. About half of the groups that did register with us actually had capital, international capital. We had several different international groups that did register with us too. There were 4 groups that registered, the international groups. The participants that went forward with this process, we knew we were going to bid. About half of them had international capital associated with the transaction. We also talked to a number of different groups, as you can imagine, in New York and London and elsewhere, and have a lot of interest in this transaction. We have a lot of groups internationally that are focused in watching this transaction to see what transpires, to see if it is successful, if it's going to go forward here in Ukraine. And there's a significant pipeline of loans. And so this resolution that we're under pilot sale to resolve some of these issues on behalf of the DGF and India is underway. And they're encouraged, although we would, of course, like to have awarded the transaction today. That's not to take place because we did not meet reserve prices. We had that were qualified that did submit their guarantee fees, which was another qualification of the DGF, which is they had to submit us in funds into our accounts, the equivalent of $300 US as a guarantee fee. And so we had several participants that did submit their fees, did participate in this auction process, and did submit bids in the first stage and second stage of the bidding this week.
Okay, that's very encouraging to hear that you have had investors looking into this, and international investors including. From our side, I see you have been looking at the portfolio as well. From our side, we actually have to say that the fact of the auction happening in the volume and approach is sort of a breakthrough for the market in terms of the organization, the approach. This is what the international investors would actually expect to see. This is an organized tender, open. This is the NDAs and the data rooms and the information collected in one spot. The questions and answers. I mean, everything has been done up to international standards. So from that perspective, we would like to thank you and your colleagues that have concurrently run the process.